Hey guys, today's Tuesday, November the 14th of 2023, and I want to go over the uranium stocks slash sector. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So looking at uranium futures, we found support at that $73, and we got this high somewhere around 70, let's make it 74.65. I would like to see, and we're right now at 74.25 right here. I would like to see if we could close above 74.65 this week. So we got a couple of more days, get a nice close above that. If that happens, the probabilities are getting higher that we could test 77, which is my target. But keep an eye on uranium futures. As long as we don't take out 73 and start making lower highs and lower lows, so far we're in projection to go higher and kiss that. The only thing that concerns me is the 7-year cycle hits in November, and this is the zone where we're in right now. And I would like to see it go higher and hold and then push higher. But the 7-year cycle, it's an unknown factor. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have it there and I'm monitoring it. Let's go to Kazatomprom. That's the next one I want to see, just to see, kind of gauge what's going on there. And you can see that I have adjusted this because it was really low here. I feel like maybe this is going to be your supply zone because it failed from this high, came back, retested, and failed here. So it's pretty much from 50 to 40. And we came in here, put a trend line, failed back down. Oh, ugly selling candle right here. This is a weekly chart. Looks like now we want to creep right back up in there. So let's see if we can at least close this week inside 40.90 cents. Maybe we could retest that high. But so far that remains to be seen. But so far it's not selling off, but it's, some sellers here trying to, push it down. So let's see how that's going to play out. NLR. That's a uranium ETF. And it hasn't penetrated the bear camp yet. It's between 83 and 74. You got this high right here of 73.37, and it hasn't kissed that yet, but it looks like it's on its way to do that. So let's see how we close this week. I'd like to see it close above that, showing that there's going to be strength to now penetrate the supply zone. NXE, something I haven't really covered, but I figured just kind of glance at the uranium stocks that trade in the US only, just kind of see where everybody's at, now because things are getting a little more interesting. So we got a supply zone from 656 to 616 right here, and we've been penetrating it, but then we just kind of fall back down. Some sellers here are very aggressive. They pushed it down, and now it looks like they're pushing it down again. So let's see if we could close above this week at 617, at least in this zone, to see if we could test this high of 656. URG. This one is not that pretty. It hasn't even, what's the high here? It's very far from the supply zone. So, but it's chucking along there. Let's see if we could close at least above 168 this week. Energy Fuels. I haven't put anything here. Supply zone. I'm just looking at it right here. The supply zone will probably be up here, but we're having a tough time. Let's be conservative. Let's see if we could close this week above 871. Rio Tinto, I had it here because I've been hearing a lot. One of my buddies owns Rio Tinto. So Rio Tinto, the supply zone of 96 and 76, and this is a weekly. We don't have even a weekly buy signal. So it's just kind of higher highs. Lower highs, lower lows. Then take that one. And you need to at least take out this one. But we don't even have a buy signal on the weekly. So this one's kind of struggling. It's expensive stock. It's $68. CCJ, I think this is the one you really need to keep an eye on to get a good gauge on what's going on. I think between uranium futures, CCJ, and Azaltampram, maybe you could probably look at some of the ETFs, but I think those three, in my opinion, are probably the ones that you could kind of get a good gauge on what's going on. And so far, we have been above the $42 September high here. And looks like here we closed above it. And we don't know this week if we could close above it. So this remains to be seen. But I would like, at least for us, for Cameco, to penetrate the bear camp, which is 44.85. Anywhere between 44.85 and 56. This is going to be the supply zone. I know there's a pivot high of, I think it's 45. I mean, I'm not going to go and look and search back there, but it's a projection to go into this bear camp or supply zone. So let's see if we could at least hold 42. This is very important, this number right here. If we could close above that, like we did last week. I mean, last week's close was 42.82. So we need to close at least above that this week to show that there is still momentum to the upside. UEC, one that I own, looking pretty strong. It's in the supply zone. And the supply zone is between 660 and 579. And so far, it's chucking along pretty well. There's a trend line there. I guess if you make this wider, you can see it pivoting from here. So I'd like to see how this is going to go. But so far, it's in the supply zone. So this so far is looking good. Uranium royalty. I own this one, and it's very far from the supply zone. It's a baby stock. It failed at the 50% center of gravity, and it's holding the 61.8, but really hasn't done much at all. Just kind of going sideways there. Uranium miners, Sprott. This is a supply zone from 51.75 to 47.42. You can see it right here. And we're just hovering around there. Like to see it close above 47.42 this week to at least test that pivot high of 49.53. We could test that and close above that. It's going to test a high right here, 51.71. But we need to see this week close above 47.42 for the probabilities to be higher to test, the higher swing pivots. URA, a popular ETF for the uranium sector, Global X. Kissed the supply zone here and failed, and now looks like it wants to attempt to try to do that again. Hopefully we could close above that pivot high, which is 28.49. Yep, if we could close above 28.49 this week, that means that it could probably test 31.60, which is the high, way back in November of November 8th, 2021. Let's go to Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. This is another baby of the group. So this one is kind of hard. So what we do is use fib extensions in 1856. I would like to see us close a bit above 1856 at least this week and just kind of hold that level. Either go sideways or grind higher to a target of 24.20. And I think my last one will be DNN. DNN I own. And this one has been kind of struggling also. It hasn't really penetrated the supply zone, which is 214 to 183. But so far, it looks like it's in projection there. We'll probably want to test this pivot high of 179. If we could close above that this week and even close above the 183, then the probabilities start getting higher that we could test November 8th high of 214. But so far everything is kind of chugging along. Some guys are probably mixed that I've been talking to. Is like, yeah, you think the market's gonna go? I'm leaning that it is. The dollar, the dollar's selling off. Look at that. It failed right here. Got this nice pop, pulled back, got this pump here, and now it's pushing lower. So maybe it's not gonna kiss that December cycle high. Maybe it's already, coming in early. I don't know. But in order for the equities to start moving higher, the dollar needs to, start pulling in. And according to the cycle analysis, the dollar weekly cycles are down and the daily peaks in December. And if this is it, that it's giving us this and it's already getting a head start, that could probably be happening. You can see there's a lot of weakness here. I don't know what the metals are doing, if they're moving higher. But yeah, keep an eye on the dollar. And if that's happening, then, the equities will go up. That means, uranium sector and all that. But you got to keep an eye on uranium futures. We just can't depend on, the Christmas rally. We need to see uranium futures grinding higher also. And so far we're at 74.25. So let's see how we close this week. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there so everybody knows, what's going on. And let's see where the close is for Friday. You guys have a great trading day, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the uranium sector.